Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. If you like what you're hearing, hit the subscribe button, give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
You're listening to the Hockey Betting Podcast, presented by BetChrisCanada.net. This is the Hockey Betting Preview for Wednesday, February 19th and Thursday, February 20th, 2020. And now, live from Las Vegas, the host of the Hockey Betting Podcast, Brian Blessing.
Oh boy, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a great week. It's the Hockey Betting Podcast. Every time we do it, it's great laughs, get you some W's. Brian Blessing in Las Vegas, Cam Stewart in Mississauga. We're ready to have at it. We're watching the trade tracker. These teams are just throwing around draft picks like they're grenades. I don't know what's going on. The trade deadline on Monday is going to be great fun. Cam, seriously, there's it. Brendan Dillon, a second. This guy, I get it.
I like Brendan Dillon.
A second and a third rounder.
Not worth that.
From the Sharks to the Caps. How stupid does Jason Botterill look? Getting a fourth-round pick for Marco Scandella, send him up there for a month, and then Montreal turns around and gets a second and a fourth for him.
Great point. Yeah, and you watch Scandella play. I don't even know what the Blues are thinking. Like these guys need depth, but Scandella is basically, why don't you just call up a guy from the American Hockey League? No, you don't want to rip a guy, but the guy makes a lot of mistakes. Why do you think Buffalo got rid of him? Montreal got rid of him. These guys are getting way too much for these players too. And now the Leafs are talking about, hey, if you want to offer us a package for Tyson Barrie, we're listening. Because I'll tell you something, Brian. I don't say this very often. I thought it was a good spot for them, and we got to be. We tell about our losses on the show. I was on the Leafs. This team's full of a bunch of clowns. They're gutless, and then they decide to turn it on. You lose to Pittsburgh again in that form when Malkin's not even playing. Kid gets called up. He scores his goal for Pittsburgh. Anderson looks awful. The players don't back check. This team, you talked about it before. I'll give you credit, man. It's really hard right now. I'm donating. I'll tell you, if I'm in the locker room doing interviews with these guys, I'm looking for money in their wallets because they owe me.
Play them over. Just play them over the total. They're disaster. Hey, okay, full disclosure. Dead wrong. Sitting there.
Oh, yeah.
Sabres win. Hold on. Wait a minute. No. Sabres win 3 in a row. Yep. They beat the Leafs, and the Leafs are in free fall. They're 8 points back with a game in hand before they ever take the ice in a ceremony game, which favors the road team. Toronto's getting their head handed to them. Buffalo jumps on Ottawa, takes a 2-0 lead, and then Hutton, and they got scalded by the refs. It should have been a penalty shot on Olofsson. They didn't call it. They called it a power play. And then they give up a shorthanded goal and give up 4 goals in 3 minutes against Ottawa, and you're right back in the thick of things, and then you go spit the bit like this, and I don't know what Kruger's doing. You're watching this. How do you not pull Hutton in this game? But more than that, Cam, I will go back and I had people argue with me. I go, kid, you don't know what you're talking about. The Golden Knights playoff game, right? The 5-minute major, that nonsense. It was a horrible call. They scored a goal right off the faceoff, and we're sitting a batch of guys watching again. I go, Gallant, call timeout now. Toot sweet now. Calm down. It was a bad call. Blah blah. Blah. And they're, oh no, you keep the timeout just in case you need it for a challenge. I go, what are you, an idiot? And bam, 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 go home and golf.
You're right. That's actually a great observation.
Last night, Kruger, they give up 3.
Call a timeout.
Call a timeout. And he doesn't call a timeout, and they get 4. They come back after the end of the period, and basically the Sabres are, controlling play again. What are these guys doing?
You're right. Save the timeout. What? So you can come up with a play that you're going to use basically on a power play?
Save it for a challenge.
Whatever. You call a timeout when the wheels are falling off. I'm with you. You got to think outside the box. Just don't save it to the end. I'll tell you, all those coaches that call timeouts with like 30 seconds left to try to get a goal. What? It never works. So why don't you do it? It never works. The other team, they ice the puck, the game's over, or score on the empty net. I'm with you. It was really tough. Watching St. Louis Devils, no goals in that game. The Jets got it done for us. I ended up taking Philadelphia. That was good. But, yeah, that Sabres game really pissed me off, and very surprised that the Blues played so good defensively. And, the Devils, even with the Ming, he actually played decently. But, hey, new day, new board. Let's rock.
By the way, just so you know, the Devils, that was the mom's trip. And the hard part is finding out about it. Now, I believe in the dad's trip a lot more than the mom's trip.
Yeah, the mom's trip, you're out going for coffee and whatever. Oh,
yeah, but it worked. Oh, honey, you tried. You played, honey.
You did. Yeah.
But the mom's trip worked for the Devils.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Let's go. I'm actually angry. Let's go.
Oh, Nikita, you played so well.
You're right. Mom's trip. My mom didn't even come to my hockey games later on when the fighting and all the gore happened, right? Like, she couldn't deal with it. So, yeah, most moms just, they don't want their son watching them get carved up or cross-checked in the head and stuff like that. I understand. But anyway, dad's trip's different. I don't know. You could take good old dad out for a drink afterwards after you play, and he'll give you an earful if you played like junk. Let's rock.
You know why I weep for where we are, like, as a society right now?
It's not very good, but yes, we're. Yeah.
No. When I was a kid and you got home from school, and God bless my mom, she loved me dearly. But when I would walk in the door, hi, Mom, get out.
Yeah, exactly. Go play.
Go play.
And I'll see you later.
Get out of here and don't come home till dark.
Exactly.
And now you can't leave one of your kids out. You're terrified if these kids, your kids or your grandkids, are out of sight for 90 seconds.
Yeah, true story, Brian. I used to get lost in malls and stuff like that. You do that today. Oh, what kind of parrot? You know what I mean? I just take off. Anyway, let's win money. I'm just society blows. I get it. We're all going down the toilet. So let's win some money before the world ends. How's that sound?
Right. Yeah, it's a plan. No, all right, everybody, all our listeners, calm down, deep breath. We're back to hockey.
Time out. Call it time out. Okay, no, let's go. Let's go.
Namaste. All right. Blackhawks $1.30 at home to the Rangers. Total 6.5. What are they talking about? Moving Leonard?
I don't know.
Am I hearing that?
Yeah, well, hey, buddy, the way things are going, if you're offering me crazy draft picks, everybody, the way things are going this trade deadline, I'm listening to any kind of offer, man. Give me the kitchen sink and the house. It's nuts. Guys who are basically 6 defensemen, you're getting two draft picks for them? Get bent. This is great. If I'm a GM, I'm listening. A team like the Sharks, a team that's out of it, man, everybody's up for sale. But here's the thing I like. The Rangers, I've learned something about the Rangers, Brian. They're a better dog than a home favorite, getting 10 cents at Chicago. I still don't think the Blackhawks are very good. They're playing better hockey. I would look to the Rangers in this spot. I don't love the game, and I see a total at 6.5, and it makes me kind of cringe.
Yeah, no, I'm not a big fan of this one. What will be interesting, though, is it's trade deadline week. Kreider's just been a pro and going about his business. But, he's going to sign him to a contract. No, he's getting moved. Now they're close to signing him again. The guy's a human yo-yo.
Yeah, no, and I love Kreider. And, you saw the emotions of it. Sometimes we forget these guys are humans, not pawn pieces. Like Brendan Dillon broke down and cried. He's been with the San Jose Sharks for a very long time after going there from Dallas, I believe it was, off the top of my head. But, yeah, these guys are humans too. They got friends there. They got family. They put down roots. So we talk about them like they're some kind of cyborgs or robots. Well, they're human beings. They wake up too.
I say the same thing. On my daily hockey show. And you deal with them, and they're good guys. Hockey, by the way, hockey players by a country mile.
For
the most part, are the best pro athletes you'll ever deal with. They're good guys, the majority of them. But yeah, we move them around like they're chess pieces, but they got wives and kids, and it's crazy. And this is a tough week. This is a tough week for these players. And honestly, some guys lose focus this week.
Oh yeah,
we're trying to pick winners. All right, Boston's at Edmonton. Edmonton, first game home, 3-game road trip, sans McDavid. Hey, look, I get it. Boston's Boston.
I like the Oilers.
And I know it's the first game home. It's only a 3-gamer. I say it should be 4 games or more. But that price on the road, come on, Edmonton's showing some serious good
I agree.
Here.
Edmonton also beat Boston 3-1 in Boston. You could say it's a revenge factor, but it's not a revenge factor when you have to lay $1.80, $1.90 with the Boston
How
Bruins.
about the Yamamoto kid?
No, I've always loved Yamamoto. I think he's a good player. Edmonton's really figured it out. This could have been classic Edmonton. Well, here we go again. Connor's hurt, breakdown, boom. Instead, these guys really buckled down. They won games against Carolina and Florida. They look fantastic. How do I not take Edmonton at plus 165 in this game? And I actually have a lean to the under because they've been playing more defensive hockey.
Yeah, well, and no McDavid. The under actually makes sense. I kind of like that a little bit. Arizona, Dallas. Here we go again.
I don't know.
It is Arizona. Well, Dallas is $1.60. The total on the game. But here goes Arizona again. Just win 5, lose 4. Win 5, lose 4. They've done this all year long. Then they really hit the skids. Well, all of a sudden you turn around. What'd you do this weekend? Oh, they just beat the Islanders and the Capitals. Now they're right back in it again. They're right there. They're in the playoffs as of today.
The thing about this game is you're getting a nice price with Arizona. Going against Dallas is tough, but it's plus 140. Like, I'm looking at it, Arizona could win. Edmonton can win. I don't love the sked necessarily. Like, nothing's really popping out at me. But at plus 140, I think you got to give Arizona a long, hard look. And you know what, Brian? It will make the card for a smaller play. I'm going to take these dogs a little bit less units. A couple games really burned me last night when I went for it for the jugular vein, and I got burned with the Sabres. I thought they'd kill Ottawa in that game. It really hurt my bankroll. But you know what? I'm going to take Arizona and Edmonton. Both of these dogs, one of them wins, you're great. If 2 of them wins, you're really smoking. So, yeah, I think it's a nice price with the Desert Dogs.
The Islanders have
Colorado, please. I'll tell you, I don't care if Francouz is in the net. I watched that game versus Tampa Bay, and you were right. I was wrong, but I'll tell you something. McElhinney stood on his head in that damn game. Colorado was all over those guys. Another bad beat for me. It was good for you and my buddy Gabe. He was on the Lightning that night too. I was on Colorado. Colorado at home after the way they played against the Kings. They dominated. It didn't win. I thought they played good against Tampa Bay, especially late in that game when they had multiple chances. I can't take the Islanders right now. They can't score. They got 1 goal in 3 games. If you take the Avalanche, put it in parlays or regulation, I got to take Colorado. It seems like a decent price at 60 cents with Francouz in there instead of Grubauer. The Avalanche will take care of business.
Well, let me ask you this. And 5.5, part of me wants to say, yeah. Come on, it's 5.5.
I'm not touching it.
Well, wait a minute. Colorado is 6 of 7 to the under.
Yep.
And the Islanders are 3 in a row to the under. Eesh.
Yeah, if it was 6, it's 5.5. Oh, if at 6, I'd take a shot with the under. I lean under. I lean Colorado in the under. I think the Islanders score 1 goal in this game. If Colorado wins 4-1, you still win. And that might be the final score.
I mean, it's kind of, at the moment, it's Barzell against the other team.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. The Islanders just they look good when we were in Vegas, but games that they needed to win, like they just don't have a true goal scorer on that team, and it's catching up with them right now. I like Colorado, and you're right. I lean under in that spot.
All right, Florida is at Anaheim. Wait a minute. Calm down, kitty. Calm down, kitty.
I'm a Panther. I eat duck.
Panthers are $1.30 on the road. Let me ask you this, though. The opening total was 6. It's up to 6.5. Now, we know how Florida plays, and there are nights that Bob can't stop a medicine ball.
True.
But all of a sudden, Anaheim, I don't know what's going on there. They lost 6-0 to the Flames. They beat the Canucks 5-1 and lost 6-4 to the Flames. All of a sudden, Anaheim's finding a little offense here. Might this not be an overplay in the get out?
Yeah, these totals, man. I'll tell you, it's 6.5. I kind of lean over. You know what, though, Brian? I'm going to ride with the Panthers again. I took them on President's Day. They won. They beat S.J. Sharkey by a couple goals. I got to ride this team. They understand what's going on. Buffalo losing, Toronto losing. It's a great opportunity for Florida. I still think they're overrated, but I think they could take care of business. They go into Anaheim. It's short price. I like the Panthers in this spot. I know it could be a little bit dangerous backing these guys, and you're absolutely right with Bob, but Stanley C. Panther is their mascot, by the way. Stanley C. Panther and S.J. Sharkey. I don't know. What is it, Darkwing Duck? I really don't care. Give me the Florida Panthers minus 135, and I'm with you. I agree. I think the Panthers can score 4 or 5, so you got to believe the Ducks at home against Florida, the way they play, they want to turn it into a track meet. This could be a 5-4, 6-4 hockey game.
Minnesota's at Vancouver. The Canucks are laying 25 cents.
I'm taking
total
Vancouver.
In the game is 6. Well, calm down, Jimmy. I love your energy. Minnesota makes a coaching change. Yeah, that worked.
Great word. Yeah.
what was that?
Yeah. Here, hey, Bruce Boudreau, you're gone. Okay. Hey, Dean Evison, let's roll. Okay, you lose to the Sharks 1-0 at home. Screw that. Vancouver went and picked up Tyler Toffoli. I love that move for the Canucks. Brock Besser's out probably 6 to 8. That's a big problem. I was actually going to take a flyer with the Canucks to win, a playoff series. I love that Toffoli move. Brilliant move by Vancouver, this team going out and doing that. I think that guy was one of the more underrated players in free agency before the trade deadline. I'll tell you, Brian, how do I bet Minnesota? I don't care if Vancouver should have a letdown. I love them. They're a quarter. They get it done. And I'll tell you something, the way Minnesota played against San Jose, I wouldn't be surprised if this game went under. Minnesota, you want to play old trap hockey? I think Vancouver wins like 3-1, 4-1, and it goes under 6. But give me Vancouver. I will be playing the side. I like the Canucks in this spot. They're great at home.
I was even going to throw this little flyer at you. They're coming off, this is another team. It's like, wow, losing streaks, then win a bunch. But they came home from the road trip. Got mauled, which we was one of our best plays of the year, right? Calgary beat them 6-2. Yeah. They regrouped. They beat the Preds and the Blackhawks. But again, all of a sudden, Anaheim scoring goals. Anaheim stomped on them. Now, in honesty, Cam, the other thing I'd say about Vancouver, because you don't get very many windows like this at this time of year, they've had 3 days between games off a 5-1 loss. You make the trade, Toffoli comes in, and they were able to probably get a good practice or two in. And you don't get to practice much at this time of the year. I'm wondering if Vancouver even puck line isn't a way to go here at a nice price. But that's got to be about plus $1.80.
Yeah,
let me check.
I agree.
Oh no, the $1.90.
Yeah, in regulation for sure. And you like that the potential of the empty netter if Vancouver's up by 1. Like, look at the game last night with Winnipeg. They get that empty netter. And it makes sense, Brian. That's why you play the -1.5. You don't have to do it for the same units as money line on small plays or dogs, but you got to play it a little bit because the take back is too good. And in the NHL, the way they're pulling the goalies now, it's not like our granddad's NHL, right, Brian? When I played, you used to pull the goalie at 45 seconds to a minute and 12. $1.15 now, 2:30, 3. You got a power play. Teams have done it like 3:20 left in the game. So it's a different game with the analytics. They used to pull the goaltender a hell of a lot late. Now you really have to follow that. For empty netters happen a lot more. I agree with you, but I'm just going to put Vancouver everywhere. I think they beat Minnesota. I think the players on Minnesota are still upset with the coaching change. Hey, if we're complaining about it, I think they were too. They played good under Boudreau. It was a stupid move by Bill Guerin. I don't care what he's doing looking towards next year or whatever. I think it was dumb, and I'll take Vancouver in this spot.
I doubt anybody's going to offer it, but we're handling Wednesday, Thursday cards in this edition of the Hockey Betting Podcast. We'll reconvene Friday and have our weekend edition. And my prediction is when we reconvene on Friday, I'll go, hey, Cammy, Tyler Toffoli scored a goal. I'm telling you, Toffoli gets a goal.
Hat trick in his last game against Colorado. One being,
first game off a trade. This kid's going to be, he's going to be coming out of his skull tonight.
I agree. I think I look at the board. Vancouver's probably my favorite play on the board tonight.
There you go. A peek at Wednesday night, hump day in the NHL, the Hockey Betting Podcast. You know what? We're not done. Cam, don't leave. We're taking a short break. We calm down, boy. We got Thursday. We got to do Thursday in the NHL, and we'll do that when we come back on the Hockey Betting Podcast.
I'm such an idiot.
We'd like to thank BetChrisCanada.net for their support of the Hockey Betting Podcast. I'm Brian Blessing in sunny Las Vegas.
And I'm Cam Stewart in cold Toronto, Canada.
If you love hockey and you're in Canada, and Cam is, look for a BetChris near your next holiday destination.
BetChris offers the best value odds on Canadian and international sports. Use the promo code PODCAST when you open up your account at a BetChris location.
So, if you're planning a trip to exotic locations from the Caribbean and Mexico to Peru and almost everywhere in between, the odds are very good. There's a BetChris Sportsbook where you're going on holiday. For more information about visiting a BetChris location while you're on holiday, visit BetChrisCanada.net. That's BetChrisCanada.net. Use the promo code PODCAST. All right, we're back on the Hockey Betting Podcast as we went to break. Cam, don't sell yourself short. You're an incredible idiot.
Hey, you warned me about betting on the Leafs. Isn't the definition of insanity doing the same thing, expecting different results? I'm telling you, Brian, if I'm in that locker room and there's a wallet on the floor with a couple grand in it, I just might slip it in my pocket. What are these guys doing for me? They're making me pay my mortgage 3 times. This team's really pissing me off.
All right, let's go. Thursday night, Pally, and they're on the card here. We'll get to it. Let's go in order. San Jose is at Jersey. Here's the thing. Both of these teams, I don't know that I could go near this game with a telephone pole. The only saving grace is San Jose is starting a long road trip and maybe want to get it off to a good start. They're both in complete sell mode. Literally, both of these teams are going to be skating around the ice looking at their line mates going, are you going to be here tomorrow?
Yeah, I know, exactly. Yeah, Dylan's gone, all the thing. If you're San Jose, it's full sale changes there, Brian. I don't know what you do with this team. The New Jersey Devils coming off that loss back home. I like the Devils in this spot, to be honest with you. Got to check the goaltending, though. It's going to be Blackwood because Domingue played against St. Louis, which makes me like the Devils even more. I know they go from St. Louis back to New Jersey. I really don't care. I think San Jose is going to have their head in the clouds. It's pick 'em. Give me the Devils.
So they boomerang back. It's a rematch, and this time around, the Jackets are minus $1.30 against the Flyers at home.
Philly.
What's Columbus? Yikes. Tort.
I'll tell you something. Columbus is falling apart. Philly's hot, man. Philly's hot. I'll tell you, I really like the way the Flyers play. With all the veterans that they have on their team, like I've always been a Claude Giroux fan, they got some really underrated players on that team. Couturier is a monster. This guy's one of the more underrated players in the league. God, he looks good. I'll tell you, if Philly's motivated and they get any type of goaltending, give me the Flyers as a dog against Columbus. I don't care if that game's in Columbus. This team is free-falling. I like the Flyers as a dog.
I'm curious. 5-1. I mean, Flyers put the Sasquatch foot on. It was 5-1, and they had a goal disallowed.
I know.
They tilted the ice. I mean, is it a completely different game, or do you come right back and say, well, Columbus will be, a little better at home? Do we consider the over?
You might want to consider the over, but how do I lay juice with Columbus when, you like to come back to team when they're embarrassed? Not totally embarrassed, but I don't want to step in front of Philadelphia right now. I've been watching their games a lot recently, Brian. They played good against Tampa Bay. They could have won that game, and they never quit. They were down big. They came back. Things got really interesting. Tampa Bay scored an empty netter. Like, the Flyers were all over them. Like, Vasilevsky stood on his head in that game in the last 5 minutes in overtime. The last 5 minutes before they scored the empty netter. I will say this, I don't want to step in front of Philadelphia. I like the way they're playing. I think they're on a heater. And Columbus, we've been waiting for this all year. I don't think they're that good. Philly can, they win this game in Columbus. You're getting them at a dog price, Brian. I think it offers extreme value. I know you hate the V word, but I got to take the Flyers.
All right. Listen, Montreal is at Washington. Washington lays, now wait a minute now here. Washington's laying 220. Now they're coming home from a Western road swing, and they lose to Arizona and Vegas. They've had an extra day to catch their breath. You know what's going on here, Cam? And I was at the Caps game here in Vegas. The Ovechkin's 2 goals shy of 700. So this has been going on now. What is it, 5-6 games? And
it's a distraction.
And he's shooting 15, 16, 17 times a game. And he had a great chance against Fleury early in the game. After that, he really didn't have many chances. You know what's going on? And they'll never admit it, but I think it's a thing. I think they've all been trying so hard to set him up that it's taken away from the team game. In the third period, they were down a couple. They just ignored. Forget Ovechkin. They're down 3-0. Oshie got a couple, and they came at Vegas in waves because they stopped trying to set Ovechkin up. I mean, get this guy his 2 goals and get on with it. And, maybe part of it is, Milestone City, he wants to do it at home. Believe me, they're sitting on an explosion game. I just don't know that this is it, but I think the Ovechkin milestone is actually hurting their team game.
I couldn't agree more, Brian. It's funny. That's exactly what I said, too. It's like, he's shooting from everywhere. It's not working. If they started that game against Vegas the way they played in the third period, they would have won the game. And Montreal, you lose to Detroit. This is a very interesting game because both teams, I could tell you one thing, are going to be hungry. I'd look for the over, maybe goals in the first period, because I think both teams come out like gangbusters. Julian's calling out his team. He got fined by the NHL, ripping the refs. In the Dallas game, they lose to Detroit. They're going to be angry because they're running on fumes. Their season's almost over. They got to give it one more kick at the can. And Washington's been brutal. You lose to Arizona, the game in Vegas, a little bit snake bitten. I couldn't agree more with you with the Ovechkin stuff. It's a total distraction. Dude, you're going to get 700. Don't worry about it. You got to focus on the team game right now. It'll come. Don't force it. Washington should be able to kill these guys, but Montreal always plays Washington tough. This is a very difficult game for me, Brian.
Yeah. Well, okay. Now,
Washington's going to win, though, even though they're coming back from a road trip. Like the way they played on that road trip, we like to take the team when they come back from a road trip to usually play like junk. Washington's road trip was so bad, I think that they actually show up and, they should be able to take care of business versus Montreal. I don't like the minus 220 price, though.
Oh, do you feel this? Do you feel it, Cam? Do you feel it? Do you feel the rumbling at your feet? It's ready to go. It's building up. It's building Mount Vesuvius. It's ready to go.
I think it's diabetes.
Pittsburgh and Toronto. Go. Boom. Come on. Listen, hey, don't forget, every time Pittsburgh goes up there, Crosby goes up there to put on a show. Malkin's not there. Didn't matter. Oh, yeah. What are we doing? Oh, well, let's bring 3 guys up from Wilkes-Barre. Okay, how'd they do? I don't know. They got 7 points. Send them back.
Toronto's playing horrible hockey right now. Now they're laying $1.20.
Oh, please.
God. What do you do? Pittsburgh or nothing?
I think it's over. It's over.
Yeah.
Toronto.
It'll be. It's going to be 6.5.
I know, but there's so much firepower for Toronto. I mean, the thing is, when a team like that, and I'm not saying they've run for the bus, they're just not playing well. But when a team like that's playing really bad, and listen, go back to the Ovechkin criticism, whenever the hell that was at the beginning of the season. These guys, they're stat machines. Every night, bing, 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 bing. Oh, hey, yeah, how about that? I had a goal and 3 assists. Yeah, how'd you do? Wow, we lost 7-4.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the problem. Is Matthews? All the goals look nice. This team, I'm starting to hate them. I don't like the way they're not tough enough. The forwards don't back check. Anderson's playing like junk. We have a goaltending controversy right now. The defense hangs him out to dry.
Muzzin's the only guy that shows up for these guys.
I blame the forwards. I blame the forwards a lot too. And I'll tell you something. It's not just the defensemen. The forwards in Toronto make horrible mistakes in their end. And John Tavares is the most overrated hockey player in the National Hockey League. Dude, what are you doing? Nothing. That's what you're doing. You're supposed to be this big-time player. You do nothing. I'm just so pissed off right now. It's ridiculous the way I bet my money on this team. You're right. I'm not even going to touch their damn sides anymore. Just give me the over. No defense, no guts, no glory. Probably Pittsburgh. Next. Yeah, you're really, I don't know, Brian. It just really hurts, it's kind of like you and the Bills and other things. Like, it's just after a while, I change my plans. I stay at home. I watch the games with my buddy Vince, who you met in Vegas. It's heartbreaking. Like when you're a fan of something and you just see the mistakes and the trying, and then they start to try and pepper the goalie. Yari stands on his head. I'm sick of this team right now. And I'm not going to talk over, maybe we want Babcock back. No, you don't. The coach, it's not the coaching. It's the damn players. These guys got to man up and start playing some defense. Forwards, you got to back check. The Leafs are they have the worst defensive forwards in the league, hands down.
Well, you bring up a good point because they made the coaching change and they went nuts. And by the way, they were playing the weak sisters of the league at the time, but they went nuts. Hey, this is great. Babcock's not here, and they went on a Tootsie Roll. And, then they had all these lucky wins that I keep saying that to you, and
it's true.
Now Keefe's there. The guy's a good coach. But it's like the players are ruling the roost here. Do they listen to any coach?
No, they don't. They're a bunch of spoiled brats on that team. They have good hockey players, great guys, but I just honestly, they're a hard team to like right now. It feels like I'm watching boys out there instead of men, and they might have a lot of talent, Brian, but come playoff time, if they do get in, they're just going to get manhandled again because they're not tough enough.
Well, listen. All right, listen. This next one. Winnipeg's at Ottawa. I'm sitting here with a stone on my shoe, and I blame the Sabres. But you know what? Ottawa's owned them. I mean, the Sabres, even if they make a push and fall short, they lost to Ottawa 3 or 4 times. But the one thing about Ottawa, they show up. Pajot, Kachuk, the Shabbat kid is a revelation. This kid is so Good. Now,
he could be the best defenseman in the league. It's crazy. Like everyone talks about Burns and Carlson.
No, this kid.
Chabot's way better.
Oh, this kid is so good.
He's perfect. He plays every part of the game well.
Let me tell you something. Okay, they had the nice and congratulations, nice ceremony for Chris Phillips, only 9 yards.
Yeah, it was nice.
You know, it's hockey. Wasn't that nice? Okay, go kill each other. That was nice.
Phillips was a warrior, though.
He sure was. That's cool. They recognize a stay-at-home defenseman who just went to war for you every night. I think that's awesome. Yeah. All right, but you know what? I'm just going to say, but Ottawa, they, in this upcoming draft, have 2 1s, 3 2s, 3 3s, and 2 of those picks are lottery picks. They've got San Jose's first-round pick. If Eugene Melnyk.
What do they have? 2 1s? Give me how many seconds they got?
2 1s, 3 2s, and 3 3s. And the 2 1s are lottery picks.
The Senators could win the cup in like 4 or 5 years.
I'm just telling you.
Maybe less.
We see how our buddy producer Mike is. Mike's not sure we're doing this tomorrow, but if we're still doing this thing in 2 years, we're going to be. I'm just telling you. Watch out for Ottawa, man.
Ottawa's pay. They're a spoiler now. What are you going to do when these picks mature? Yeah, it takes usually a few years for these draft picks. You're right, but you're talking 4 or 5 years. Hey, man, this team's just moving in the right direction. They'll keep on stockpiling picks, and eventually no one will be laughing at the Senators anymore. But as for this game, Winnipeg's laying 40 cents. They need to take care of business. Not a great game against the Los Angeles Kings, but they're finding ways, Brian. I think after Ottawa had that game against Buffalo where they played like a brilliant 4 minutes and the Sabres really sucked, I think Winnipeg, 40 cents, they'll go in there and take care of business. They understand they need to get points against this team, and they won't take the Senators lightly. But betting against Ottawa is a very dangerous proposition these days.
And by the way, Winnipeg, right there, everything's right in front of them. They're only a point behind Calgary and Arizona as the wild card seeds. Colorado's a mash unit. They're only 6 points behind them. I still love Colorado in time. And, oh, by the way, all those injuries to Colorado, it's going to upset the apple cart so big in the West. If Colorado comes into this playoffs, as a 7 or 8 seed, oh, boy, watch out if they get healthy at the right time. But Winnipeg, they make a trade. They get Danilo. They finally did something about the defense. I don't think they're done. I think they got to get another one. But Maurice, I like Maurice, a good coach, man. Winnipeg ain't going quietly into the night here, the stretch run.
No, I agree. It's really a shame what happened with their defense because I think the Jets are a good team. But that's the thing about Maurice. They'll be ready to rock this game. They understand. He knows Ottawa's no joke. Look at these guys. They beat Dallas. They came back the Buffalo game. They have guys who put their hard hat on every day, and you got to respect that. But Winnipeg understands the magnitude of the situation. When I was in Vegas, Brian, I remember they had an afternoon game on Hockey Day in Canada. They took care of business versus Ottawa. I think they'll take care of business again.
Arizona's at St. Louis. St. Louis is laying $1.82, and clearly, Cam, the Marco Scandella effect. We can see it here. It's worth at least 60 cents on the line.
Yeah, that's the thing. We went over. I don't know what St. Louis is. That's a desperate team because James Bouwmeester's not coming back this year, and that's
they needed a body.
So St. Louis, they did. They needed a body. Scandella will play, and hopefully he won't make tons of mistakes. But I can't lay 80 cents with the Blues. I'm not sure if Arizona loses the game prior. Maybe give them a look at plus 150, 155 in this spot. I'm going to pass and probably take. I don't know. Do you go over in this game? What's your vibe? I really don't have one here.
Honestly, I've kind of, to be honest with you, drawn a line through Arizona in that I don't know what the heck I'm getting. Arizona's kind of not even on the menu for me at the moment. I don't know.
No, it's tough. I'm going to pass. Well, we have other games passed.
Well,
so
I like
the final two.
Tampa and Vegas.
Tell me. Let's talk.
They have played. I think when they come out here, I think this is track meet city. I think Vegas is creating a bunch of chances with their first 2 lines. Theodore's been playing at a high level. DeBoer, the one thing he's doing, he's letting the defenseman go a little bit. Schmidt's jumping into play more. First goal of the game, Holden was down low, scored against the Caps. We'll see if this Martinez trade happens. I doubt he's here. I would doubt he's here for the game. But I don't think. And I think, by the way, I think Vegas ain't done. I think Vegas. Bill Foley's actually coming on my radio show today. I think even if they're overpaying, but if they give up 2 2s for Martinez, I think they could still go for a guy like Palmieri and do something. They've got to get the third line going. But Vegas has been scoring and creating. They've been creating a lot of chances. In Tampa Bay, I think they come in here with the weapons they've got. I can't see this game not going over the total.
I agree with you, but I also think Vegas, if I'm going to play a side, it's Vegas. I think Tampa Bay played good against Colorado. Colorado came at them late. It's just going to be a track meet, and I really like what I see from Vegas recently, Brian. I know Washington came at them in waves in the third period of that game, but man, the first couple periods, even the saves Holtby had to make, Vegas could have been up 4 or 5 goals in that game. They look great. They look fast, and I think Tampa Bay on the road, it should be a classic, but I could see Vegas winning a 5-4, 6-4. I think it's going to be tight. Maybe Vegas with an empty netter. I agree with you. I like the home team, and I like the over.
And then Florida at Los Angeles. Now, this is, it's a nothing burger, right? It's back-to-back nights, but literally Florida goes home to the same hotel room and then just plays a game the next day. The only thing about L.A. and what I'd be looking at here is we know it's a fire sale. Toffoli's gone. Martinez is a guy they're all very close to. Martinez was a key guy in their cup runs. Now, as of the time that we're doing the podcast, the deal has yet to be finalized, but all reports are, no matter what, Martinez is going somewhere. It looks like it's the Vegas thing, but they held him out of the lineup in the game in Winnipeg. So even if the trade isn't done, Martinez isn't playing in the game. These guys, it's a fire sale right now for LA. Do they embrace the role of spoiler? I mean, their die has been cast, but now
they've been battling.
Yeah, no,
they've been battling. Like, they played well against the Jets in that game, but simply talent's going to reign. And I'll tell you this: I think Florida goes on a mini heater. They understand what they have to do. They're going to take care of business against the Ducks, and I think they're going to take care of business about the Kings. This is a team that's been underachieving. I think Quenneville will have them ready to go, and they understand these are points that they need. The Leafs are free-falling. The Sabres are free-falling. Like, Florida needs to take care of business, and they will. And it's under $1.40. So give me the Panthers.
We haven't seen a total yet, but I'm assuming this will be 6.
6. I'd go over.
I would go over because, listen, L.A. beat Calgary 5-3. The outdoor game, you always play the under in the outdoor game. So that was a 3-1 game, and you mentioned Toffoli was doing good, but he ain't there no more. But then they play at Winnipeg, lose 6-3. And by the way, if Martinez is moved, Florida's going to have all kinds of open spaces in their, in the offensive zone, and Doughty will probably, what'll happen is Doughty's minutes will go up. Doughty start playing 30 minutes, and
then he'll make a couple mistakes. Florida will bang in some goals.
I like the over in that game more.
If it's 6, I like the over, and I like the visiting team. Give me Florida in the over in that game. And in the other night game, we take Vegas in the over. I guess we're climbing the mountain, Blessing.
I don't know. It's wait a second. Let's just go down this line here. Florida, LA, we're saying over. Tampa, Vegas, we're saying over. We don't know what's going on with Arizona, St. Louis. We don't know what's going on Winnipeg, Ottawa. Pittsburgh, Toronto, we like the over. Ovechkin's going to be going for 700. Philly just beat Columbus 5-1. And then you got San Jose in Jersey playing. I don't know, buddy. Sounds like you better be calling the butcher.
Yeah, more pork products in my belly. Give me the salami. Over. Extra salty.
It's a Thursday meat buffet. I'll have the meat lovers pizza, please, with extra meat.
Yes. I love that. That sounds good, Blessing. I should call right now. Pizza Hut or Domino's. You got me thinking. Salami all day.
You know what happened? The last time you and I ordered a meat lovers pizza, the girl brought the Supreme.
Yeah, and I got the next pizza for 50% off. I love it when they make mistakes. Those wings were succulent, too. You got to take me back to that place. I'll fly to Vegas just to get another batch. Delicious.
The Tap House. That was strong.
Just big, juicy wings. Yeah, they were Buffalo style. Delicious.
It was amazing. Yeah, no, we're sitting there, and the people at the
I'm a wing connoisseur, Brian. I've tried wings in every state, every city on my travels, and those were fantastic.
No, you started eating those chicken wings, and the people at the golf crew that was there at the table right behind you couldn't see this because you were eating, but the sparks were flying so good. The one guy went out to his truck and brought 4 welders' helmets in. You all right?
Yeah, the bones were glistening.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so we like the salami on Thursday. Trade deadline, buddy. This is going to be a circus act. They're already doing these preemptive strikes. The market, finally wrap it up with this. They're overpaying for guys left and right. There may be a blockbuster or two. We got to keep an eye on Kreider, Palmieri. I think Bottrell's ready to go Kmart blue. Do the, what do you call it? The blue.
The blue light special.
The blue light special. Yeah.
I agree. Buffalo really pissed away an opportunity. Even don't be surprised if a team like the Leafs, right? You think they're stockpiling the way things are going? They're talking about getting rid of Barry and stuff, right?
Barry,
it's going to be crazy. It's crazy.
Let me ask you. If you're the Leafs, we got to wrap this up. This is the beauty of this. We can do this all day. And hopefully you could listen to it all day, but we won't make you. Do you think there's something massive here? If they just realize they got no shot, playing track meet hockey like this, do you think maybe something monstrous? I mean, a Nylander?
Yes. Yes. The problem is the problem is the contracts. That's the problem with the team. All their top end guys, their deals are horrible. But if some team wants to suck it up and eat some salary, I'm telling you, man, don't be surprised if some team comes to the table with a package for some stars on the Leafs. They're listening right now because this is a train wreck, and they need to correct the situation. They got to get some different chemistry going, and I think the GM has to make a statement saying, this is not good enough right now. We're supposed to be a contender. Now, you know what? Too bad. If you get traded, that's life, because these guys are underachieving right now, Brian. It's all about the contracts, so a lot of big ones on that club.
All right, let's put a lid on it. It was another fun edition of the Hockey Betting Podcast. I'm Brian Blessing, and even during trade deadline week, he's our untouchable Cam Stewart. Hey, folks, this is Brian Blessing. Hope you're enjoying the Hockey Betting Podcast. We have a couple chuckles, try to get you a lot of winners. Hey, we hope you like what you're hearing. And if you do, hit the subscribe button and give us a review, give us a rating. Most importantly, enjoy the hockey and keep coming back to the Hockey Betting Podcast.
The handicapping and sports odds information contained on this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Please confirm the wagering regulations in your jurisdiction, as they vary from state to state, province to province, and country to country. Using this information to contravene any law or statute is prohibited. The podcast is not associated with, nor is it endorsed by any professional or collegiate league, association, or team. This podcast does not target and is not intended for an audience under the age of 18. If you think that you have a gambling addiction, stop this podcast now and please seek help.
Gambling and betting on sports is a form of entertainment and should be about having a good time. But when done excessively, it may negatively affect other areas of a person's life, such as their physical and mental health, school or work performance, finances, and/or interpersonal relationships. At BetChrisCanada.net and the Hockey Betting Podcast, we're concerned about the addiction that gambling may cause, and for this reason, we encourage everyone to practice responsible gambling, an approach to gambling that helps you ensure that it remains an enjoyable activity. Here are the main principles of responsible gambling. Don't think of gambling as a way to make money. Always gamble with money that you can afford to lose. Set limits and stick to them. Never chase losses. Don't gamble when you're depressed or upset, and create a healthy balance. Always be aware of how much time you spend gambling or thinking about gambling. And do not allow gambling to cause you to miss out on time with family and friends or time spent on other activities you enjoy. By following these guidelines, gambling can be a good time and great entertainment. If you feel at any time that your gambling is taking away from important areas of your life, is causing you stress or depression, or is leading to financial losses that are beyond your control, please reach out for help. Learn more at responsiblegambling.org.